The fifth chambers of hell, the chambers of drunkenness and alcoholic beers. The Lord came and took me to hell. First we landed in the reception of hell, and then we enter one of the 12 tunnel of hell, leading to the 351 prison of hell. We were moving on one of the 12 tunnel of hell when I saw from far a group of demons. They were leading newly arrived souls from the reception of hell to their respective prison. These damned souls that were led by demons seemed drunk, and they were staggering left and right, and demons were pushing them. These souls were thousand and countless. I noticed on their back it was written the drunkard, while these people that were skeletal were led to their judgment in this horrendous place. Suddenly, I saw a dark and powerful demon in the horizon approaching, and this demon was dressed in black. I saw that he was moving in the middle flames of fire. Brother, when this demon was moving there was a strong wind blowing in the middle of flames and demon were running. I asked the Lord, "Who is this demon?" The Lord said, "He is the principality of alcoholism and drunkenness. He caused men to drink strong liquor and alcoholic drink. When this principality approached the damned souls, he said to them, 'My children, rejoice, you who responded to my witchcraft and enchantment. You have accepted to do what I have asked you to do, since you did my will and bidding. Rejoice.'" At that moment I saw a demon torturing these souls and pushing them forward in this tunnel. It was not clear where this tunnel was leading. Brother, I never saw this kind of torment in an earthly prison. The torture was unbearable and the suffering was cruel in hell for the lost, and I was in tears before these horrible torment. Then one of the countless souls began to complain because of these degrading treatment and atrocity. He said to these demons and their leaders, "Why are you treating us this way, and why do we have to suffer like this?" Immediately the principality of alcohol and drunkenness replied to him, "You should not speak, for you have no value in this place and you are worthless." At that moment all the demon rushed towards this soul that was complaining about ill treatment, tearing his flesh from his body. Seeing this terror, the Lord said to me, "I gave men authority over demons. A man is a creature that is much more valuable than angels. Even if he is weak, he has more value. Man is made in my image and my likeness. I have given you men authority over the devil and his power. I gave you men my heritage. I gave you men what I have not given angels, for I made you in my image and my likeness, but you men have made yourself slave of the devil. Instead of dominating Satan, you let Satan dominate you. See how men are humiliated here in hell. Yet you are the one with authority over the devil. When you fall in hell, the devil has authority over you." I cried when I heard all these things, for Jesus said men had an elevated position before God in comparison to angels and demons. But we have left our high position and we lower ourselves by doing the will of the enemy. As these demons continued to drag these multitude of souls in this tunnel, at the end of the tunnel I saw that there was a huge pit of fire. I saw demons pushing these crowds of lost souls in the pit of fire, and then these demons joined them inside the fire. When we got closer to the pit of fire, I looked down and I saw beneath the pit great flame of fire turning around a center point. It was like a whirlpool of fire. As I continued to observe this terrifying scene, I smelled the odor of alcoholic drink. This was a rotten smell. I saw in the pit it was written the chambers of drunkenness and alcoholic drink. We were supposed to visit this chamber of hell by entering the whirlpool of flames of fire. This pit was circular and I saw that this place was really dirty. It was horrendous beyond human understanding. When we entered this circular pit inside the whirlpool of fire, we landed in a vast land that were burning with flames of fire. There were cries of countless souls seeking help and demons were laughing and mocking. The smell of this place was as if we were in a plant where beer was made. There were smells of whiskey, strong liquor and all kind of alcoholic drink mixed together. When I look around, I saw a long and extended table, upon which were all kind of alcoholic drink. There were wine and whiskey that were arranged very well. Beside this table there were pit of fire, and inside these pit of fire there were cries and screams of thousands and countless souls in torment. There was huge fire in this place which were rising all the time. The temperature was intense and unbearable in this place. I never thought that men could be subjected to such high level and high degree of suffering inside a fire burning in high degree. Among the cries of 1,000 of souls I heard a man calling and begging the Lord to come to his help. He said to the Lord, I preached your word for I was a pastor. I have never drank alcohol all my life. The man was skeletal and his bones were covered with worm and his lower part was dipped inside hot liquid that was rotten wine, inside which there were little snake biting him. He could not escape and he was stuck. When he began to talk to the Lord, he said to him, Lord, I have accepted you at the age of 12. All my time on earth I live a Christian life and I fought all my life. I committed myself in the work of ministry at the age of 18. In total I spent 38 years serving you. All these years I was in your service. Why did I fall in this place? The Lord said, my son, you cannot enter my kingdom when you are in alcoholic drink. Actually there are alcohol in your body. This man said, I only drank alcohol in Holy Communion. The Lord said you are giving God children alcoholic drink during Holy Communion. He said to the Lord, Master, there was just little degree of alcohol in these wines. The Lord said, don't you know that those who touch alcohol cannot enter my kingdom? Beloved, I understood that for many years in his ministry this pastor was using alcoholic drink in Holy Communion service with God people. He was sharing the cup of demon. Leviticus 10 verse 8. Then the Lord said to Aaron, you and your sons are not to drink wine or strong drink when you enter the tent of meeting, or else you will die. This is a perpetual statute for the generations to come. Actually there were 4 categories of souls in this section of hell. Firstly there were those who used to drink with moderation, secondly there were those who drink in excess in order to get drunk, finally there were those who don't drink, but they touch alcoholic drink, and they were those who bought alcoholic drink for other. In the first section there were many God children who were drinking alcoholic wine in Holy Communion. Among them was this pastor who spent his life serving the Lord. However, because of regular alcoholic wine in Holy Communion he lost his soul. He tried to beg the Lord but it was too late. The Lord said, I want the world to know that even 1% of alcohol will precipitate them to hell. Many churches are cursed because of these practices. I came to understand why the Apostle Paul talked about the cup of demon. I looked at this pastor in hell and I look at myself. I remember when I was in the music industry. Back then I really enjoy life. I have even pierced my ear for I was in mundane music enjoying the world. Yet this pastor served God all his life for he came to the Lord very young. But because of alcohol in Holy Communion he lost it and he was in hot wine burning him. I saw before the pastor in his pit. There were many boxes of alcoholic drink that he was using in Holy Communion. Among them I saw the box of Sandria. I saw a box of Tom Simon. He was using all kind of alcoholic drink. I saw the pastor who lifted his hand for deliverance, but it was too late. He said, Lord, give me an opportunity. I will tell churches not to use alcoholic drink in Holy Communion. The Lord said, it is done for you, my son. It is too late. I will send men to do your work. The harvest is great but there are few workers. Your turn is already finished. I will send other worker, brother. I was watching this soul who was in despair. From his pit he lifted his hand towards the Lord and said, Lord, pull me out of this pit. He had some faith and he was expecting the Lord grace. He was trying to jump and saying, Lord, pull me out, catch my hand. When this pastor lifted his hand hoping that the Lord will catch him, I saw in his hand it was written condemnation. Because his hand has touched alcohol, he kept saying, pull me out, Lord, pull me out. Remember all the pain I went through in order to serve you. It was too late. Then we moved to the next pit. There was a voice crying and asking the mercy of God. When we reached this pit I saw a young boy with a beer of Primus on his hand. The bottle of beer was shouting justice. I said, Lord, what has the boy done? The Lord said one day his father sent him to buy beer for him. He bought the beer for his father. But when he was coming back he was hit by a car and he died. He is condemned because of the beer he had touched. The child said, Lord, I have only obeyed the voice of my father. The Lord said, those who touch these things shall not enter the kingdom. This was the last page of your life on the earth. Your condemnation is related to this bottle that is attached to your body. The boy said, Lord, it's my father. He is the one who condemned me to this fate. If I am condemned for my father, I beg you to go and tell my father to come here, for he is the one who sent me to buy. Given my age I never drank alcoholic beer. The Lord said, you never drank it but you have touched it. The child kept saying, Lord, is it because my father have sent me? The Lord kept replying, "It's because you have touch." The boy said, "Are you saying that even people who have not drank alcohol will come to this place just because they touched?" The Lord said, "Indeed they will come to this place if they have touched it." Brother, I was very sad to see a young boy in this condition, in hopelessness. Later I saw that the boy got angry and he began to curse the Lord Jesus Christ. He said to the Lord, "You are unjust." Brother and sister, I cannot repeat the insult he uttered against the Lord. These were unbearable insult. He said to Jesus Christ, "If you created me so that I will fall in this place of suffering, go away. I cannot see the reason of your presence here. Go away, let me suffer." At that moment I saw a demon dressed in black garment having inscription which was the name of the beer that the child went to buy for his dad. They were tormenting this boy. Brother, imagine the suffering of a boy just because he has touch. In the next pit where there was another soul, I saw boxes of beer that was full of acid, which was spilling and becoming flames. This is how this soul here was tormented, and these bottles were saying justice, and I heard the word dowry. The man that were inside this pit was saying, "This woman has cursed my life, I don't need her, she has sent me to this place, let her be cursed on the earth." I said, "Lord, why is this man in pain?" The Lord said, when he married his wife he was required to give dowry of money and alcoholic beer by the family of his wife. I said, "Lord, there is nothing wrong with that, it is our custom to give some boxes of beer as part of dowry. In Congo everybody do it. This man has just kept the custom of our country, but the Bible say in Mark you have abandoned the command of God and you keep the tradition of man." The Lord said, "You bought beer for other to get drank." Habakkuk 2 verse 15 say, "Woe to him who gives drink to his neighbors." Beloved, we must learn to give money in dowry instead of beers as our customs stipulate. The man was submerged in acid that was burning. I saw snakes coming out of bottle of beer that were in this pit. The Lord said these snakes are demon that possessed people who are attached to alcoholic beer. As a result they become addicted to drinking. This man tried to come out of this acid, but a demon rushed to push him deep in this acid. This man cursed his wife and said, "What was the purpose of marriage in my life?" He spent just 7 years in marriage, but this act of giving box of beers in dowry has condemned him for eternal judgment. When we left this pit, I saw a man that was hit with bottle of beer on his head by people that surrounded him. These people were saying to him, "You are the one who brought us here." I saw that all of them were in a river of whiskey that were burning their lower part, and the smell of whiskey was intense. These men told the Lord he is the one who used to buy beers for us all the time he brought us here. When these people lifted their hand I saw that their hand was burning with fire, which was covering them life cloth. Beloved, this was terrifying. One of them said, "I never wanted this life of drinking, but he drove me in this way of life." The man was down. Finally he said, "Lord, I am not responsible from their deeds. It is truth I used to invite them to drink, but they could have refused. They did not refuse. They are responsible for their action. Look at what they did to my head and I have no rest here." When I look at that man's head it was bumpy because of the hit he was taking. The Lord said, "You have caused the fall of many." The Lord said to me, "The suffering of these souls is not because they are human, it is because of sin. It is sin that led them here." We left this pit and as we were moving in this section, I saw countless inside their pit that submerged with beers that were actually acid. These souls were crying to the Lord. They lifted their hand up to the Lord and they shouted, "Please Lord save us, please Lord save us." Yet all these bottle around them were shouting justice. There was such a degree of fire. Brother, hell is beyond explanation. Whatever I can say will not represent the degree of torment in this place. Jesus said to them, "The judgment has fallen, the judgment has been decreed." As we were leaving I heard like the voice of a woman in a place that seemed like a little house. She was saying, "Fear has entered my house because of my husband, please open to me." Then the Lord got closer to the house and he said to her, "Kathy, my daughter." The woman said, "Lord, I knew you would come for me. I want to see you, please open." The Lord said, "Kathy, the condemnation is already pronounced against you. I cannot open. You are condemned to stay inside forever." The lady said, "It is not my fault. I always forbid my husband to drink beer, but every time we receive people and every time people were visiting us he was ordering me to serve them beers, but I never drank alcohol." The Lord said, "You chose to obey your husband instead of my word. The lady said, Lord, I was never taught this truth, and I have not seen it in the Bible. The Lord said, my word is the truth, if only you ever obeyed to my word. The Lord said to me, Kathy never drank alcohol. She fought all her life to stop her husband from drinking alcohol, but his husband had friends that were attached to alcohol, and whenever his husband friend came to their place, her husband was ordering her to serve them beers. She felt forced to serve them alcohol,